Deb Cooper with the Canine Chronicle, bringing you a Table Talk live update with Sergio Brown from The Crew. Those of you who have exhibited or run dog shows on the West Coast have probably seen the individuals in the blue shirts with The Crew on them. And Sergio Brown is the individual who owns the company, who has helped out many dog shows, not only on the West Coast, but I believe across the country. Isn't that right, Sergio?
That is correct.
So I thank you for joining us today. And, when we chatted a little bit earlier, I learned so many things that I didn't even know. And I think one of the first things that the fancy might be interested in is how you started providing the services that you provide at dog shows.
Well, it is a little bit of a unique story, and it's a fun story. I enjoy telling it because I think it's a humbling story a little bit, because it's a little bit grassroots. I was a freshman in college. I was a college baseball player. It was the end of the baseball season, and like all collegiate student athletes, I was broke. As a student athlete, you're practicing 25 hours a week and playing games. You don't have time for a job. So it was the end of the baseball season. I went into the career center at the university, and I found an ad that said dog shows, $10 an hour. This was back in 1991. At that time in California, minimum wage was like $3.75 an hour. So $10 at 19 was good money. I ended up calling the gentleman. It ended up being Lowell Davis, who's a legend in the dog show industry. And I show up, I worked 10 hours. He gave me $100. And I had my pom-poms out, and I was fired up, and said, come back tomorrow. I came back the next day. He gave me another $100. And he said, hey, I need help through the weekend. You have anybody who would want to come and work? And I said, I got a baseball team of 30 guys. And he goes, well, I don't need 30 guys, but I could use 5 or 6. So I ended up getting a few guys, and we ended up working through the weekend, which ended up being the Mission Circuit show. So we worked that show through the weekend. It was a great weekend. We all got paid and thought, wow, what a great way to make some extra side money. About, 3 months later, Lowell calls me again and says, hey, I have another dog show. Would you be interested? Well, it ended up being that Lowell was in charge of, I think, 3 or 4 shows a year. And so through college, myself and my baseball teammates who worked Lowell shows, and through the school year, and I think in the summer also, and just gave us a chance to make some extra side money. And so that's how it really started. And the relationship with Lowell and Arlene Davis grew from the standpoint of they started to trust me enough that after about a couple of years of doing this, they started asking me to house sit for them, because they would judge all around the country and they needed somebody to watch their house. And it was a beautiful house up in the Covina Hills with like a 300-degree view of downtown Los Angeles. And so they just trusted me to stay at their house and feed their dogs. Turned into, actually, and I say this humbly, I started bathing their dogs. They had me bathe their dogs in their little kennel. And so basically I started this business knowing nothing about dog shows, and having no idea anything about the dog show industry, to a huge company now.